Are you tired of struggling between balancing your relationship and self-improvement?
I'm done.
What's wrong with you?
I did too, until I realized this. My name's Pierce, and self-improvement literally saved my relationship. Early on in my relationship, I was a lost teenager, like most teenagers nowadays. Addicted to distracting myself with gaming and junk food, always wasting time, just distant, hard to really get my full attention on anything, to be honest. Just constantly distracted and uninterested in everything. At this point of my life, it was extremely difficult for my now fiance to live with me and to be in a relationship with me. I understand now that I was extremely tough to be around sometimes. And ever since I started working on myself, working on becoming more masculine, working on being more of my authentic, true self. So getting away from all these distractions, getting away from all this instant gratification, and trying to understand who I actually am, really. And the relationship between me and my now fiance is the best it's ever been. And for any of the guys out there that are in relationships and also on self-improvement, I'm sure you can attest to the fact that sometimes it feels like you have to literally choose between one or the other. And I thought that too, until I realized that they can both actually be intertwined. And they both do in fact go hand in hand. So let me explain. So when you're on this self-improvement journey, it can feel like it's a very isolated experience where it's just you against you, and you've just got to deal with your own issues and go through everything by yourself. When you're in a relationship, it makes it a lot harder for you to go through these changes by yourself, because there's actually someone attached to you and going through the same experiences as you. So for me, when I was going through my changes and my growth, so was my partner. But what I've learned is that communicating with your partner during these times is so crucial. You cannot isolate your partner by going into yourself and just completely focusing on yourself and almost ignoring your relationship. Because the truth is, being in a relationship while being on self-improvement is actually a superpower. Because while you're changing and growing, you have someone who's right alongside you who can actually see your changes and your growth. And as someone who's been on this journey for a while now, I can't tell you how invaluable it is to have someone by your side who can literally attest to all the changes that you've made. And not only that, it allows you both to push each other to change and to grow. So me and my fiance, we've literally done well-being courses together. We've sat and had deep, in-depth conversations about our own changes and our growth and where we want to be in the future and how we see each other. And without this communication, this relationship cannot go ahead, because when you're growing and changing, if you don't communicate these changes openly with your partner, to the point where maybe you wanted something in the past that you now don't want, if you don't communicate that with your partner and let them know that maybe your goals have changed, maybe your wants and needs and desires have changed. If you don't communicate that with your partner, how do you expect the relationship to flourish? Because you have to give your partner the chance and opportunity to change with you and to grow with you. And that takes patience. Because although it may feel like you have to choose which side you want to prioritize, they can both actually flourish together in the right circumstances and with enough effort and time. And this is something I can attest to personally. I feel like where our relationship is at the start of our relationship compared to where it is now is like night and day. And a lot of that I attribute to the fact that we've both put in time to improve ourselves physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, in every single compartment. And the only reason it's worked is because we've grown together. If one person is growing and another person is just stagnant and isn't on that mission, then the relationship cannot work. So the only way to make this relationship work is that you have to be honest with your partner. You have to ask them, are you willing to change and grow with me? And if they're not, then that probably isn't the partner for you, and that probably isn't the person for you. And that can be a hard pill to swallow, because you may feel like this is the person that you have a lot of memories with, you have a lot of great times with. But the truth is, if you're not compatible in the long term of where you want to be in the future, then you're only denying the inevitable. So when you find someone who is willing, and not just willing, but is excited to grow with you, that is a massive sign that that you found the right person for you. And also, being in a relationship while improving yourself can actually be very beneficial for you both, because it will offer you different challenges compared to when you're just proving yourself by yourself. For example, being in a relationship will literally give you scenarios that would never even be possible if you're just a single person by yourself. For example, the way that you respond to your partner when you're upset, or when you're feeling impatient, or when you're feeling aggravated, and your partner tells you how you react, without having someone to bounce this off of and be able to tell you about yourself, it's very easy to just think that you're you're doing great and everything's fine. Because being in a relationship will test your boundaries, it will test your, all this theory that you've practiced on, how to be mindful, how to be at peace, how to be stoic. Being in a relationship will actually test if you're actually about that life or not. For example, you'll get into a little disagreement about something, and where maybe before you used to snap at each other and just be passive aggressive and try and basically win an argument. Now that you see the changes in both of you, that you now try and work as a team to come to a resolution. And being able to see that is beautiful. And that's something that you miss when you try and prioritize one over the other. So for anyone out there who's in a relationship and is also trying to work on themselves and is struggling to balance the two, it's because there's no need for balance. They are both intertwined. So don't try and keep them in as two separate worlds. Make sure they merge together and form the future that you want. If you did enjoy the video, remember to subscribe and hit the like button so more people can see it that need to see it. And until next time, I'll see you later.